All right, hey guys, Dr. Sean here. I thought I'd have a little fun with you today. If you've ever been to my office, it's a little bit of me. It's a uniqueness, right? Hence all the crazy stuff around me. And I thought I'd give you a different view, a little bit more of kind of who I am. I like unique, I like kitschy, I like, kind of things from around different parts of history and stuff of that nature. And I've always considered ourselves kind of the pirate of the healthcare world, right? Not in a Blackbeardy kind of pirate way, but more of an Errol Flynn, Tyrone Power, kind of Robin Hood, shocking as it may seem, type individual. So I got that theme. I like to come into my office on days and think, gosh, what kind of struggles do we have throughout the day? How do we help people? How do we do things? So when I'm doing this mailbag, I thought this will be a little fun to share with you. So if you ever see me and you come on in, you'll see this in the corner. Now, that being said and done, we got to ask the question here on mailbag. Says, hey, Doc, what do you do about hiccups? Right? You get the hiccups going. What do you do about this? How do you help somebody with it? What causes them? Where do they come from? And what do you do when they're chronic, right? When they're chronic. So let's go through this. It's a diaphragm spasm, guys. Since the diaphragm is the muscle that sits right below that rib cage, right there. And its job is to sit there and push air up and down into and out of the lungs, right? It's a pump. So this pumping action, sometimes the diaphragm will go into spasm. Now what's interesting is a lot of times when it spasms, all the time, it leads to reflux and heartburn. Food for thought, right? Something to think, oh gosh, if I got chronic heartburn, maybe I got a diaphragm spasm. You don't have to have hiccups. You could just have heartburn. So we look at these things and we think to ourselves, gosh, it's a spasm in this muscle, and then all of a sudden it starts to affect the epiglottis in the throat. And you get that coughing sound, or that hiccup sound. Now what brings it on? Eat too fast, drink too fast, don't chew your food well. Right? That's a big one. Hiccup. Especially in little kids, right? You don't chew your food well. Or maybe you swallow too much air too fast. You're talking, blah, 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 and you get too much in there too quickly. So those are all things that can bring it on. Now, what do you do to get it to stop? That's the real kicker, right? And we've all heard a zillion wives' tales from eat ice cubes, put a cold spoon in your mouth, swallow water upside down on a full moon with your heads against the wall. There's all kinds of crazy stuff, but there's some easy ones that work pretty well. And this is one of my favorites. Now, you won't see it real well, but if you look at the ear, there's a divider that comes down and it crosses. It circles around the ear and it crosses right here. Right behind that tragus, there's this little line. If you follow the helix of the ear around and follow it in, you'll feel a notch about halfway in there. Go to the front side of that notch toward the nose. And in Chinese acupuncture, and this is a field called auriculotherapy, that's the diaphragm point. So in practice, when I've had patients come in with chronic recurring hiccups, all you have to do is stimulate it. Now, what can you do? You got nails. Put a nail right on it and start rubbing that point. It'll bite a little bit when you're on the right spot. Rub that little point, and as you do, focus on that breath. People will say, hold the breath, do this and that. Well, it makes sense, right? Hold the breath. Oh, stop the diaphragm from working. But it's in spasm. So when you rub that point, I would do both sides. When you rub that, it tends to calm it down. Another technique that works really, really well, and it's one of my favorites, ginger. Fresh ginger, juicy fresh ginger. Cut a little thin slice of that. Start chewing it. It has an amazing effect on the GI tract and calming things down. Now, if you've got laryngitis or something like that, be a little careful with the ginger because ginger is a very strong plant. But if you can do that, chew that ginger, rub this little point, you can almost always knock out chronic recurring hiccups, especially acute ones. Now, little kids may not like ginger. Just rub the point. It's real simple. Now, there's other ones. I'm sure you guys have got a few. So in the comments section, throw your little remedies in there that you found that have worked over the years. Let everyone else share and do this. This is why we do this, right? It's kind of fun. So share these things. This is a good one and it's easy. The other thing you want to focus on is that if it's really bad, and it's all the time, the longest I ever had, I had a gentleman come in that had it for 6 months, every day, nonstop. Every day. Constantly. I had to do acupuncture with it. But guess where I went? And it stopped it. So there's a lot of cool things you can do. There's a lot of great things out there. I'm Dr. Sean, the Robin Hood of Healthcare. Can't wait to see you guys' remedies. Take care.